Mijn stream heeft actually gewerkt. I don't know if this is actually live, but Dad turned off the internet. You want to give them the reason for that?
Life is about consequences.
Uh-huh.
I said to you, if you're going to keep on blaspheming,
Okay,
please do
tell us how I blasphemed.
You said that my God is little and is a small and a puny God.
Uh-huh. Why did I say that?
Because we spoke about you, about consciousness, and you saying that we existed before time. I said to you, you said to me, okay, but does the Bible not say that we were, even before the world was made, we were in the thoughts of God? I said, yes, that's what it says. So it's something that he thought about. So he thought about us from the beginning. It doesn't mean that we were there from the beginning. It means that he had us in his mind, not created yet.
And then I
it was
asked,
in his mind.
so if
So
you
then
are
you
in
said to
God's
me,
mind, don't you exist? And you said no. And then I
No.
said, that's a tiny God.
No, but you didn't say that.
Yes, I did.
You said my God is tiny, and I said to you, Esther, here in my house there is rules. If you want to keep on blaspheming, I'm not going to allow it. That's what I said to you. So I said to you, there's rules in life, and I even used the analogy to say, if I've got a diesel engine and I decide I'm going to put petrol into that engine now, it's going to damage the engine. There's going to be repercussions of actions that you take. And it's not going to be my fault. It's going to be your fault if you choose. It's like when we had the discussion the other day about you smoking marijuana in mom's
in an office.
Yeah, in an office. That's a place that she actually furnished out.
She doesn't use it once.
That has got no
It does actually
issue at all, because it is hers. It's something that she built. She put in those cupboards. She put in that desk. She did it for some place for her to pack her stuff.
And she doesn't use it.
Okay. Then we said, okay, you can use it. Then we said to you, okay, we don't want you to smoke in this place. And you said, okay, that's fine. And what was your answer when I said to you the other rule? So I'm disobeying silly rules. That's what you said.
Yeah.
So if you say, well, if there's rules and I don't agree with that rule, it means nothing. We can't live with that, Estienne. If there's rules in the house to say, okay, we want basic respect, and you say, it's not part of my rules, so there's not
what's
going to be
basic
there.
respect?
If we say we don't want you to smoke in the room, then we want you to respect us. That's basic respect.
Okay.
If we say, Estienne, we don't want you to cause friction and conflict. Today, when I came back here and we started with our discussion, we started talking about all kinds of nice things. And then you kept on insisting to push your worldview.
No.
To a point, Estienne, let's call Wessel. Stop lying.
We weren't
please.
talking about my
Stop
worldview.
lying. Just seek the truth. For once, seek the truth. And focus on the truth.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened. We can call in witnesses.
Sure, call in the witnesses
okay,
if you want to. Because that's what you like doing, that. Call them if you want to.
Yeah, because I'm seeking truth.
Okay, I'm seeking truth as well now. Why don't you call them?
Estienne, you know Wessel don't want to be part of what you talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah, and why is that?
Because I'm evil.
No, not who said that? You say that.
That's the kind of image you're portraying now.
You are putting words in our mouth, Estienne, that we're not using. So stop doing that.
Yeah, this thing
If
is live.
If you say you are seeking truth, then speak truth as well. Don't speak things that's not the truth and make it out as if it is the truth, because that's a lie. And if you want to keep believing the lie, to say, well, we said things and we never said it, it's a lie. But you want to believe it.
Okay.
Stop doing it.
Sure, Rupan.
So when I say to you, okay, Estienne, let's stop it now. I can see this is gonna go into conflict. You insisted to push and push and push until there was conflict.
Have a conversation.
No.
You're the one that keeps jumping to conclusions. You're the one that keeps creating this aggressive attack on me when I try to have a basic conversation with you, Dad.
There is nobody in this whole family that will agree with that, because you are causing conflict with everyone.
We've had this conversation today as well, Dad, where we were talking about if we believe the same thing, would there be any conflict? And you said yourself, no.
But here is the problem. we believe two different things, and only one of us can be right. To say that if
Actually,
if
neither
A
of us
is,
can be right, Dad.
that's also a possibility,
Yeah.
and that's why I've asked you.
You
In the
don't hold
past.
that possibility, Dad.
I do.
You don't.
I'm the only one that holds it, and you. Okay, let's test your honesty in this. I've asked you the question: if Christianity is true, think about the question. Would you believe in it?
And
What
I
was your
said
answer?
no.
So you can't be logical.
Okay.
You can't be honest.
So
And
again,
then okay, hang on. And then you repeated the question: if what you believed is true, would I believe in it? What did I say?
you said yes.
Of course, because
Okay.
I want to reason logical about it. So the only guy that's open here is me. It's not you.
Okay, Dad.
Because you
So
said
the difference between what?
even
Okay.
even if
Okay.
it
You've
is
had
the
your
truth,
point. You've
even
shared your
if it
point.
is the truth, you will
Yeah.
not
You
believe in
said
it.
that.
You said it.
No. Okay. Now my point. What you believe in, even if it's the truth, a God that tells me He loves me, but is willing to damn me for eternity if I don't follow its rules, even if it's the truth, I will not believe in that God.
Okay, but you can you see?
I haven't finished my point.
Okay,
What I
try
believe
to
in
build your point.
is love.
So what is it?
Period.
So love has no rules, and love has no beginning, love has no end. So if I don't love the way you want me to love you, is there any cause? Is there any effect to that cause?
You're probably just going to drive a wedge between us, a relationship,
How do you get to that now?
if you don't love me the way I want to be loved,
Okay.
by
So
accepting me for who I am.
so if I say to you, the way I want to be loved is to, let's use a silly example. I like to be for you to caress my hair, and you said no, I don't like to do that.
Dad,
And
all I want is acceptance.
yes, the acceptance you get, Eston.
No, I don't,
No,
Dad.
no, you know I love you very much, Eston, and that's why I'm still eating this whole everything. I'm fighting against it, but I'm still trying to love you because I love you. I've said to you what you believe in. I don't agree with that.
But Dad, I believe in love. How
Eston,
do you not agree with
okay,
that?
quantify that.
Love is,
Quantify
I've
it.
tried to quantify it so many times.
Okay, try to do
Love
it again.
is the ability to endure.
Mhm.
Love is multiplicity and unity simultaneously. The
Okay,
fact
what does
that
that mean?
it means that they can be separate bodies in a union. That is
Separate.
loving. And
No,
then
that's
ultimately,
loving each
and my
other.
final one is love is presence and focus.
Okay.
The
Oh,
fact that I give you my presence the way that I do, even though you make me feel like shit every single time I do that, that is an act of love.
yeah. And what do you think if you keep on blaspheming? You keep on
I'm
listen.
not
Okay.
blaspheming,
No, you
Dad.
can just listen, but not in your view.
Dad, it's like saying, okay,
No,
so
don't get aggressive
the
now.
God I'm not aggressive, the God I believe in, do you believe it's big or large? Or do you think it's a big God or a small God, Dad?
It's beyond comprehension. So it's not
Okay.
even big.
Okay, sure.
It's
Beyond
beyond
comprehension.
comprehension. Yes.
Okay. So if I call, for instance, do you know, like Shiva as a god, all right? If, is that a god smaller or larger than the God you believe in?
Significantly smaller.
Okay. So now I can say you have blasphemed against that God,
What? Okay.
right?
Who is Shiva?
Is it God or is it not
Who
God?
is Shiva? No, it's not God.
Okay. So that's
Who
what
is
I'm trying
Shiva?
to say,
But
Dad.
who is Shiva?
The God.
What is the proof
No,
you
the
have?
point I'm trying to
No,
make
no.
is the God you
no.
think I'm blaspheming against
Yeah.
does not exist, Dad.
That's what you say, Istan.
It doesn't
You
exist.
must look at the evidence.
I'm looking at the
Look
evidence. Here
and
it
then
is.
exactly.
Loving
Here
God.
it is. Okay,
Here
so
it
where,
is.
so where did this come
And
from?
this I love. I don't blaspheme
Where did this come
against
from?
this.
Where did this come from?
It always was.
Always was. Okay,
Right?
so
In a cyclical manner.
all the scientists in the world is wrong. You're right.
Cyclical, Dad. You know what cyclical means?
All the scientists are wrong.
The scientists are talking about the cyclical nature of the universe as well.
No, they're
Yes,
not. They
they
say the
are.
universe at the beginning.
Uh-huh. And what
That's
happened before the beginning?
nothing.
Okay. And what happened before nothing?
You see, there's the concept you don't get.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Cyclical,
So
Dad.
it's a word that's now been dished up. If the science of this world says there was a point where there was nothing, then something had to have happened. Now you can call it a big bang, you can call it whatever you want, but something happened where three things had to happen simultaneously. Space, matter, and time had to have come into existence at the same point in time. Otherwise, it can't work. If there's not a time where stuff starts, and there's not a place wherein the matter can be, all three needs to be simultaneously. The only worldview ever that talks anything scientifically about that is the Bible. In the beginning, time, God created the heavens, space, and the earth, matter. It's only the Bible that says that. Now this is text that's thousands of years old. So how did they know, without any scientific knowledge, how did they know that these three things must come into existence at the same time
Papa,
for reality as we experience it
the
now?
church that
No,
you
not the
believe
church.
in literally stopped Galileo from actually teaching what he knew, that the earth wasn't the center of the universe, from actually teaching that. The church,
Yeah, the church.
they didn't know anything, Dad.
Crucified Jesus as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so the church did a lot of wrong things. So if in doubt, don't go for the church.
That the church are the ones who wrote your Bible.
And for goodness sake, no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, go look at the scripts, Estienne.
Go look at the editing,
Go
Dad.
look at the no. You're
Who do
wrong
you think
again.
edited those books?
You're wrong again.
Who do you think translated those
Go
books?
look at the 5,500 manuscripts that they found, that they've built the New Testament from. So these manuscripts that's old, and that is very, it's actually dated to within the time when Jesus lived. So the fallacy that the Bible is been handed down like a telephone game, it's a lie.
Okay.
There's 5,500 manuscripts that's been taken from different places and dug up from different sources that confirms one story. There's no other literature in the world that is even close with regards to the authenticity.
There is actually.
No, what is that?
It's called DNA, Dad.
No, where did DNA begin? That's a very good one. So who wrote?
Millions of years ago,
Who
Dad.
wrote DNA?
Millions of years.
Who wrote it?
And we can find within our DNA the entire history
Who wrote it?
of all DNA, Dad.
Who wrote the DNA?
I believe God did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was created.
No.
Okay, so if God didn't create it, how did He make it? If it's not created,
Everything arises from consciousness, Dad.
okay, so how did it arise from consciousness?
How did this universe arise from God, Dad? How did God make this
He
universe?
spoke,
Okay.
and he started it. So if you believe,
spoke with what?
If you believe,
Did he speak with vocal cords?
yeah, I believe so.
Okay,
I
so
wasn't
where is
there,
his
so
body?
I wasn't there. Yeah, God is not body.
Okay, so how does he have vocal
God
cords?
imparted Himself in the body, in becoming flesh in the form of Jesus. Yes,
Okay, so
that
if
happened.
he only had a body when he was Jesus, which was what, like 2,000 years ago, what was his body beforehand?
He never had a body.
Okay, then he didn't have vocal cords either.
God still doesn't have a body. God is.
No, what did he speak with?
What did He speak with? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Okay, Dad. So how do you believe in something like that if you don't even have these basic
Okay,
answers?
here's my choices. Here's my choices. I have to believe that in the beginning there was nothing, and nothing created everything. So okay, in my experience in life, I've never seen anything coming from nothing. And don't say now, okay, a thought, because I'm talking about something physical that's been created from nothing.
We are in the mind of
Nothing.
God, Dad.
No, hang on. Like I say, don't bring a thought up to say, well, that's creation. Creation is to say, look at the tree, look at the birds, the puppies, the sun, the stars, the moon.
All thoughts of God.
No, it was His voice. He
No.
spoke.
We
Okay, you were there.
exist in the thoughts of
Apparently,
God.
you think you were there, Esther, when God created. You were not there.
How do you know that?
Do you think you were there?
I believe I've never been anywhere else.
Okay, so why didn't you create?
Because
trees
a part
blue?
of the rules is I had to forget that what
Say-
I
say
am.
again?
A part of the rules is that I had to forget who I am when I came and embodied this form. The same way that you can't understand that we
Part
are
of-
the
no,
exact same thing.
No, hang on. Part of the rules is you had to forget what you. Say that again.
Part of the rules is that you had to forget Period.
Wha-
Everything.
Why?
Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to be Estian as I
But
am
why
right
is that
now.
part of what rules is that?
The rules of becoming a person.
Rules of becoming a person is you must forget.
Yeah, it's one of them.
No, where did you get that?
It's one of them, Dad.
No, where did you
Okay,
get
Dad.
that?
So
that-
when you
that-
were born,
Okay,
what did you remember?
Okay, show me. When I was born.
Mm,
No, that's a silly question. I can't remember anything that I was born.
exactly.
So to say that I saw the light and that's nonsense, man. I've heard stuff like that before. I can only start recollecting things probably from the age of 5, 6, and I could start recalling certain things that happened in my life.
Mm.
But most of them was real turn point events. I can't tell you what I had for breakfast 7 years ago on a Saturday morning. I won't be able to tell you.
Why not?
Not because I had to forget. It's because I do forget. But there's no such thing that I had to forget that I created everything just to become a human.
Yes, you do,
Oh,
Dad.
that's silly, man.
How are you going
No.
to experience being a human if you didn't forget that?
Okay, so you think that the God you believe in forgot that he created, and then he became what happened then?
Embodied
In what?
in this form.
And what about the trees and the puppies and the cows and the dogs?
Same
and-
thing.
Okay, so where did he now choose to become a cockroach and
It's everything,
a
Dad.
fly and a...
There is no separation.
Okay, but he forgot now everything.
Yes.
So if he forgot everything, is what made him remember that he wants to be something?
Knowledge. Gnosis.
No, huh?
Gnosis. To know thyself, Dad.
No,
The
he
only way
forgot it.
to know
No,
yourself
you forgot it.
is to be everything. But you can only be everything if you forget that you're everything, Dad.
Yeah, look, it doesn't even make sense to you.
How does it not make sense, Dad?
Okay,
think
so
of it.
I
Okay,
have to
think of it
forgive-
like
I have to
again.
forget
I've
everything.
had this conversation with you before. It's perspective.
No, this thing that you have to forget everything and then build something from.
Okay, Dad. So
This
let's
is
take
something-
this thought experiment.
This is something new now, Eston.
You
This
keep
this
trying to
you've
talk over
never-
me.
Okay, have a go.
If God wants to experience everything, it does not help that experience of everything to know it is God experiencing it. How does that not make sense?
It doesn't make sense at all. So what is your concept that God wants to experience everything?
That's why we are experiencing this moment right now, Dad.
It's not God that wants to experience everything.
Why did God create us?
Because he is love.
Yeah.
God loved us so much
Mm.
that he created,
Mm.
and then we chose to sin against him.
Okay,
We
sure.
chose, of course.
Uh-huh.
That's why we as humans still today choose not to follow God's word.
Okay.
To say, well, we'll rather please ourselves. It'll rather be me. I'll rather be God. And this is why I say to you, our worldviews, Estian, won't be compatible. Because I say, I'm not God. I can't be God because I'm a flawed human being. And I make mistakes. And if I cut myself, I bleed. And I get tired and I have to go sleep. And sometimes I catch myself twisting the truth. God says he's not a man that he can lie. God says he never slumbers and he never sleeps.
Yeah, Dad.
So
that's consciousness.
That's God. No.
That's consciousness.
No.
Never sleeps. Can't lie because it is experiencing from a loving perspective.
Mm.
And that consciousness exists in both of us. It exists in Pippi,
Consciousness
it
can't
exists in
create
that tree.
Because consciousness doesn't have a personality to say, well, I'm choosing to create. Consciousness can't do that.
Consciousness chooses to love, Dad.
No,
Everything.
Consciousness can't choose. Consciousness is just you are conscious of something. Consciousness doesn't choose. You choose from what you experience in your consciousness.
Okay, and again, I believe God, as consciousness of all,
No.
chose to be you, chose to be
No.
me, chose to be the grass underneath,
No, doesn't
chose to
make-
be the trees.
Doesn't make sense at all.
How does it not make sense? Explain to me.
Because you just now said consciousness, or we just agreed now. Consciousness can't decide.
No, I didn't
Consciousness
agree
is
with that.
Oh well, okay. Let me rephrase it then. Consciousness can't make a decision. Consciousness can't create. We're still sitting on the point is, how did everything come? You said to me, it's consciousness. How
Dad,
did consciousness
how
create?
has
And then you said to
anything
me,
ever been
okay,
created without consciousness?
you said, has anything been created without consciousness?
Please do tell me.
I don't know.
Nothing has been created without
No.
consciousness, Dad.
Nothing is created but through the word of God.
Nope.
Okay, so what has been created? And don't tell me now the cup, because God didn't create that cup. So don't be cynical now. So what has been created that we can see here? The birds and the puppies and the trees and the moon and the stars and the flowers and the bees and the kittens and all these things and the grass and the roots and even the weeds and the cockroaches and insects. Okay, we're talking about those things. We're talking about living organisms, where science says even if you want to believe it came from a one-celled organism, where did this one cell that's irreducibly complex? The chances of all these proteins coming together, do you know what the probability is?
100%.
100% what?
Here I am.
No.
That's the chances, Dad.
The probability of it coming from nothing.
100%.
From nothing.
Here I am. From nothing.
Nope. It's not 100%.
Yep, it is.
Okay, so all the scientists are wrong in the world again.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I find interesting, Estienne, that everybody in the world is wrong except you. I really find it interesting to say, okay, scientists, when they work out the probability of life coming from nothing.
Yeah. I have this conversation on stream as well, Dad.
Then you say, okay,
I also am fascinated by the probability.
You believe that the scientist says, okay, there's a probability that because they work it out scientifically.
Yeah.
It's a scientific
They
thing.
take all of the matter in the universe, all of the planets, and then they probabilize, right?
No, nope,
of us actually existing. And that probability is
that's
infinitesimally small.
But that's not science. The moment you start making assumptions, it's no science anymore.
Dad, you're making
Science is
assumptions.
something- Of course, I'm making a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
We're talking about science now.
Okay.
We're talking about scientists that says the probability of life coming from nothing
is very small.
It's
and yet
how
here it
small?
is, Dad. So they're wrong.
No, they're wrong. They write in the word that it couldn't have come from nothing. Something had to have started.
Consciousness.
Consciousness
I
can't
keep
start
saying
life. Consciousness can't start life.
Consciousness is at the base of reality. Let me do an experiment again.
Go for it.
And every single time I do this, I can see it kind of clicking in your head, but you don't want to accept it. You can see
It doesn't make sense.
3 dimensions, right?
Yeah. Of course I can.
And you can see yourself move in that 3rd dimension,
Yeah.
which means that's 4th dimension. And there's a
No,
part of you.
4th dimension is time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you see yourself move,
That
then
is time.
it's still
That's
3
the 4th
dimensions.
dimension.
Now, if I see myself move,
That
it's
is
still,
time as the
no,
4th
that's
dimension.
space. Okay, if you say I see myself in different places at different times, yes, that's a 4th dimension.
That without time, this isn't possible.
Yes.
That's a 4th dimension we exist in. And yet, there's a part of us that is aware of all of these lower dimensions.
Which lower dimensions?
The dimension of space and time.
Of course, here we are. We're in the space.
Okay.
I can
Which
see
means
time.
that consciousness exists beyond these dimensions.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. So how does it not make sense to you that everything arose from that?
Because a consciousness is something that was given to us as well. When we were created, and this is where the argument started today as well, is you said we were just always there. So we weren't always there.
I do believe we were.
The Bible says clearly is that God had us in his mind even before he laid the foundations of the earth. So that is true. To say that when he started thinking about creation, is we were in his mind, is his plan to say, okay, this is how I want to create. He already had in his mind to say, okay, when the right time comes, I'm going to create a guy called Chris. And when the right time comes, I'm going to let him meet a woman called Hanley. And when the right time comes, I'm going to have them come together, and out of that will come
So
Estienne.
God made me the way I am, Dad. Congratulations.
Okay, In terms of course, He made you.
Yeah, I'm
He
following
he
God's
made
design,
He
Dad.
made you with eyes, and He made
I
you
am
with a heart,
following God's
and He made you
design.
with in the image of God to say, I know the difference between right and wrong. I
Mm.
know the difference between
Yeah,
justice and injustice.
exactly.
I know the difference between what's pure and what's not pure. I know the difference between good and evil. That's in the image of God. Okay, now I can choose to say, well, okay, I'm created in the image of God. I know what is just and what is not just. So now it's easy for me to say, if I see something that is not just, then I can say, you are wrong. So how can you judge somebody on what he's doing? But when God wants to judge, to say, well, these are the things I don't want you to do. If you do them, I'm going to punish you. It's your choice. I'm not forcing you to do this. This is like if I'm dating a girl and this girl says, well, I don't like you. I only like you as a friend. This, I can't force her to love me. Even if I tie her up in a room and tell her, listen, I'll let you go here the day you say you love me. She will probably say, I love you, until she gets a dagger to put it in your heart.
Yeah.
She's never going to love you.
And that's why Satan left God, Papa. That's why a third of the entire heaven's force left God. Because
Yes?
that's the way your God works. Locks you in a room
No,
and
Esther.
forces you to love him.
No, you are so wrong in that. You are so wrong in
That,
that.
okay, let me just like really preface this.
Mm.
Why
Mm.
would a third
Yes.
of the entire heaven
Mm.
abandon or rebel against God if he's actually loving?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you.
Please do.
You're going to listen to this. Okay? So, which source document are we going to use? Are we going to say we use what we think, or we use the only source document that actually wrote this up, which is the Bible? Okay. The Bible says that Satan rebelled against God because he wanted to be God. So, the same sin that
And why
we
did
as
the rest of them follow him then?
because they said, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. We also want to be God.
Okay.
So-
that doesn't
so-
make any sense.
How does that not make sense?
Because if Satan's whole thing was that he wanted alone to be God, he wouldn't have accepted help from demons because they wanted the same thing as he did.
That was basically angels, huh?
Yeah, well, they
okay,
became demons.
So yeah, say that again.
If you believe that the sin that Satan was trying to commit was trying to be God, and you also believe that the reason he had a following because all of the other angels wanted to be God as well,
No,
why would they follow him?
No, they said, listen, okay, we like this guy's idea to say, well, there's no rules and we can do whatever we want and we can be our own gods. We like that idea, so let's follow this dude. We don't want to be under the authority of God, who created us, by the way. And isn't that exactly what us as humans do? We say, okay, we've got this choice. Do we want to follow God's rules, or do we want to follow our own rules? And at the end of the day, that's the only two people there are. Is God is going to say, yeah, if I'm going to say I did it my way, and God's going to say, well, if you did it your way, then have it your way.
It's not God's way, Dad.
What's not God's way?
The way you're following.
The way I'm following is not God's way. So
You're following people's rules, Dad.
Whose rules is that, Esther?
Who do you think wrote the Bible, Dad?
It's been inspired. Esther, if you look at the Bible,
I'm being inspired.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
If you can write a document, listen to the logic, Esther. You can burst out in laughter as much as you want.
Logic, please.
Yes, look at logic. If you can write a document for me, or a compilation of books for me, over a few thousand years, that speaks of one thing, different authors speaking the same thing. If you read in Isaiah, I will read you scripture out of Isaiah, Old Testament.
It was
and you're
edited.
Gonna tell me, no, it wasn't.
It is proof that it's been edited.
Okay, so if they find the Dead Sea Scrolls, and if they dig up something that's been buried for thousands of years, and they dig it up and say, oh, this says exactly the same as what that says. Who changed it? Do you want to really tell me that somebody fudged a document, went and buried it under loads of
The
solid
Book of
rock?
Thomas.
Huh?
The Book of Thomas.
That was afterwards. Eh? If you look at the age of the Book of Thomas, it's a couple of 100 years after Christ.
Also inspired, Dad?
No.
Yeah.
No, the moment you say, I'm gonna try to write on events 300-400 years after the event, you can be inspired as much as you want. You're not gonna get the detail. If you say, I'm gonna write stuff 5 years after the event, because this is what I've recollected, I can still today, I can tell you what I wore, what I was busy with, what we ate that evening when the planes flew into the Twin Towers. This is now how many years ago? That's 9/11.
That
This is
Yeah,
so many
sure.
years ago, but it's a life-changing event. Now let me tell you, if you die and you rise again after 3 days, I can promise you I will remember that day so clearly for the rest of my life.
you actually did it
Even-
today. I did die and I rose again.
And I can remember exactly what happened that day. Exactly what happened that day.
Yeah.
I can remember it.
And yet you still don't see me, Dad.
No, yet. No, I see you very clearly, Esteban. Jesus led a life without sin. And we had it. We had a go at it just now. You said to me, what sin have I ever
Dad,
committed?
those rules that you say that I'm breaking, Jesus broke as well.
What,
to the
which
T.
one? Which one did he break?
Creating new gods.
What new gods
Creating
did
a
he
God
create?
out of himself. Those rules, Dad,
He
that you
is
believe
God.
in, was already in place, weren't they?
Yeah,
And then he came against them and they crucified him for it.
yeah. So here's one or two things now.
Yeah.
Listen to this. I like you getting to this point. So either he was a reigning lunatic to have made all these claims, and they crucified him justly,
Uh-huh.
or he spoke the truth.
Yeah. So either I'm a raving lunatic or I'm speaking the
No,
truth,
but
Dad.
Esteban, we know you. You've committed all those sins.
Yeah, sure.
When Jesus, when Caiaphas said to him, "Can anybody bring in any sin against him?" All the guys that brought him, that had the opportunity now, that wanted him guilty, couldn't bring one. So if I ask anybody now, is Estienne sinless? Do you think I can find one person that
I would
might
like
say,
to hear what sin they're gonna mention, Dad. Seriously. What sin are they gonna mention?
let's go through all of them. Let's go through. You will not have any false gods.
My God is
in your
love,
meaning.
which is your God
Yeah,
as well.
no, but your God is
not a
your,
false
your
God.
God is the tree and the bush and the dog and the cat. That's also your God. So that's graven images, Estienne. That you
No,
want to
it's
say is
all
God.
God.
No.
There is no
Have
separation.
you ever told a lie in your life?
Sure.
You've gone through that. Okay, so that's a sin. Have you ever taken something that doesn't belong to you?
Okay, so do I need to be crucified because I've told a lie in my life before?
No, who's going to crucify you?
That's what
Estienne?
we're talking about, Dad.
No, who's going to crucify you? Jesus didn't steal, didn't lie.
How do you know?
Yet they crucified him. All the guys, when they said, bring a sin in front of him, all these accusers that were
Okay,
stood there.
and how did you know that?
How did I know?
You read it in a book.
Yeah.
That's how the story goes.
Yeah, even the non-biblical scholars.
And now I'm
Like,
writing the story
even-
about Melt being crucified,
No,
and
no.
everybody didn't have anything bad to say.
Nobody's going to believe that.
Sure,
Because
Dad.
the people know
I
you.
don't believe that.
That,
I don't believe
that
about
you're
your
sinless.
story.
That you're
No,
sinless.
I don't believe your story, Dad.
No, let's go to why would some of the Roman scholars, like Josephus, why will he write the same things? He's not a Christian. He was a Roman, but he wrote. So there's secular scholars, and there's also you can call them biblical scholars, like Mark and Matthew and Luke and John and all these guys. But there was also secular guys that just wrote up history that says, yeah, there was this guy before. And we heard them saying, well, okay, can anybody bring any sin against him? And nobody could. Even when he stood there with the woman that was unfaithful.
You're telling
He
a
said,
story right now, Dad.
if anybody here has, but this
None of
this
it's
is
based in fact.
This is beautiful.
None of it's
Estienne.
based in reality, Dad.
Everything is based on reality, Estienne. And this is why I'm saying 5,500 manuscripts that they've dug up saying the same story. 5,500. So how much proof must you have before you say, well, okay, this might be true? If it was 5,600 manuscripts or 10,000, would you then have believed it? All saying the same thing? Or 20,000 or 100,000?
Okay, Dad. If every single one of the friends here give you a written account of who I am to them and what
Okay.
what I've helped. Maybe we can do that in chat.
Okay.
Like send my dad what we've done in this space together, and then we'll take that as written accounts for me being God now, Dad.
But you're not God.
And then we'll keep doing it for the rest of life, and then we'll have like 50,000 accounts of people
No.
being like, yeah, Melt is OG, and
No.
then I'll become God one day, Dad.
No.
Because that's apparently how it works.
The guy spending a half an hour or 2 hours a day with you, sitting here and saying nice words. Go speak with the people in your house that lives with you, that you are causing conflict with.
Causing conflict because you believe in something that
Okay.
you literally
Listen.
believe that you're sinners who need to be saved.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to save you from that narrative. And then that's the
Listen.
conflict that I
No,
cause.
but that's not the only conflict you cause.
Okay, what other conflict do I cause, Dad?
Easton,
Please,
so-
tell us, what other conflict do I cause?
okay, you cause conflict about your views. You
So
cause
same thing?
no. So if you say we are serving a penny God for what we believe in, so it's okay for you to believe in whatever you believe in.
Love.
But it's not okay for me to believe what I believe in.
That's not what I'm saying.
And what I've said to you is, in this house, you don't have to stay here. It's nice for you to stay here. It doesn't bother me. But there's rules as well, Estienne. And if the rules now conflicts to the point...
That's totalitarianism,
No. To the point
Fascism.
where...
You're talking about fascism right now, Dad. That's what
Okay.
you're talking about.
Okay, you accused me of talking over you. Okay, carry on. What did you want to say? I'm not allowed to finish my sentence. Okay, carry on.
If you want to censor me, Dad, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not allowed to speak against what you believe in, think about it from a perspective of balance. In this household, I'm the only one who believes what I believe in. There is 5 of you. Let me finish.
finish.
That believe in what you believe in. And now I'm not even allowed to say the things I believe in because that's speaking against your God. That is fascism,
Is that so?
totalitarianism.
Okay. So why is it okay if there's rules to say, well, okay, if you speak let's use racism.
Against an imaginary
Yeah, let's use racism.
Okay.
If you bring racism into a workplace, because it's a rule, huh? We're talking about rules here.
Uh-huh.
So if you have racist comments, it's going to cost you your job, and you will have to leave here.
Sure.
Okay, so that's a rule. So now I can say, well, that is all these fancy words that you use, and these people have got egos.
When you're
and
harming
whatever.
other people, Dad, I can understand those rules.
Okay.
What am I harming when I say
honestly
the
believe-
God you believe in doesn't exist?
Because it's false.
Oh, it's false, is it?
Yeah.
How prove me wrong?
Okay, look around you,
I do
Look
every
around you.
day.
and
I'm saying that this is
I
God.
still want you to explain to me how consciousness is not something that exists in terms of something that has
It's
personality.
beyond this
Yeah,
dimension.
it may be beyond this dimension if you want to call that. But what caused consciousness to say I want to create, and now you're bringing things in that this consciousness you talked about, then one day decided it's going to create, still doesn't know how, because consciousness can't create. Consciousness is an awareness. That's consciousness. So consciousness can't create. It must have been then another thing that was beyond that. And let's talk about what that is. So then you say, okay, this entity then forgot everything and then decided, okay, now I'm going to become humans, and
No,
it just doesn't make sense, Estienne. It doesn't make sense at all.
I can hear that you don't understand it, Dad.
No, the way you explained it doesn't make sense.
Okay, let me
Estienne.
try again.
Okay, try.
Consciousness is at the base of everything, like the centering core, like the sun from which the photons shoot out of. And then when that consciousness becomes projected, embodied, it needs to forget that it is God in order to experience the life that is a human one, or Eva's life. And if it doesn't, it is not going to get to experience what that life has to hold. What is confusing about that?
What about that makes logical sense at all? None of it.
All of it makes
No,
logical
none
sense.
of it. None of it
Explain
makes
to me
logical
how it
sense.
doesn't make logical
Okay,
sense, Dad.
show me something in practice where that, if you say it's so logical, that is logical in this world as well.
That every single one of us experience consciousness.
Yeah, because we are conscious of what's happening.
Okay, so if
are
we were
aware.
actually so unique and so different and so apart from God, every single one of us would have some sort of different experience that is not consciousness. And yet, that part of us remains. Consciousness is in beauty as well. Consciousness is in the trees.
Not the same.
Consciousness is in the
No,
grass.
It's not the same.
It is, Dad.
No, we are made in the image of God. And if you don't understand that, then this is where the confusion is going to come in. To say, I've got the same consciousness as you do. No, I don't.
You have a different mind. You don't. You have the
Yes.
same consciousness.
Okay, so what does consciousness mean?
Consciousness is God, Dad. It's the
No.
part of God that
What does consciousness mean?
experiences.
Not who you think it is. What does it mean? What does the word consciousness mean?
It means to me the experiencer.
No. Not to you. What does the word consciousness mean? Is that an awareness of what is reality around us? Or is it something that has the ability to create? It's two different things. It's two different words you're looking for here. So if you say it's just consciousness, and consciousness is an awareness. I'm aware of everything that's happening around me. It's awareness. And awareness can't create. So it must be something else.
Awareness can't create that.
No, how can awareness create?
Awareness creates the experience that you are aware of.
No. I'm aware that I'm sitting here. How does my awareness create anything?
How is your awareness of you sitting here existent without your awareness?
No, but that's a irrefutable argument.
Exactly.
Because
Dad.
I'm here, and I'm aware that I'm here because I'm alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're getting to it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So does that now mean that I've created myself, and then I forgot I created myself, so that I can then later on remember then again that I've created myself, and then when do I forget about it again?
When you re-embody.
Then I forget about it again.
Yeah.
And that's
Over and over
And this
again.
makes sense to you.
Dad, you do realize this is ancient wisdom. I'm not the one who came up with this.
I know, Easton, and this is what I love about you, because every time we talk, you've read up something new now, and then you believe in something else. It's been for many years now. I mean, you keep on changing your belief system.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work, Dad.
No.
That is how it's supposed to
Yeah,
work.
it
That's
is.
who someone
Yeah.
who actually seeks truth. That is how it's supposed
Yes.
to work.
And yeah, I love that you bring that up, because you're quite right. That's exactly how it's supposed to work. You need to keep on seeking the truth until you find the
it.
truth. Okay.
Yeah.
So the mere fact that you keep on changing means only one thing to me. You haven't found the truth yet. The
I
fact
have
that-
found the
that-
truth.
No, you say that.
The
but
truth is
no,
love.
No, that's what you say. You can't quantify that, and you can't live out
I
that
have
worldview.
quantified it to you
But you
multiple
can't,
times.
But you can't live out the worldview.
I am living
No,
out
but
that
you're not,
worldview.
Estienne.
Why
The-
do you think
the
I'm
fact-
giving you this presence,
No.
Dad? Why do you think I'm doing that?
Just because of love. No,
Why would I
Estienne.
do it other than
No.
love?
Listen, you can call it a lot of things. You can call it exposure. You can call it whatever you want.
Exposure.
Or justification.
Exposure,
Justification. There's a lot of things that after our argument, he said, "Come, you
We were
wanna-
having a fight.
You want to tell everybody now on this stream that I've now cut off the internet and how little and small I am." I said to him, "Estienne, that's a
No.
choice you." Estienne, we had this thing literally 2 minutes before this started.
Yeah.
I'm just sad that it didn't start there. Then people would have seen that what I'm saying now is the truth.
Sure, Dad.
Truth, please.
Okay, Dad.
Okay. So we spoke about that, and if you don't wanna own up to that, Estienne, to say that, okay, if there's a rule, and I decide, like you've told us, if this is not a rule that you like, you will disregard it. You told me and your mum in our faces, if it's not a rule you like, you'll
It
disregard it.
wasn't about like. I said
Or
make sense.
agree with, make sense, like.
Yeah.
You can use 20 words in there to justify it, that if it's a rule that we make, that you have the right to decide. Our rules means nothing.
That a rule
can
about
say.
not being able to speak my truth is
No.
not a rule
No,
I'll
let's-
follow.
okay, let's-
ever.
let's get-
and you
let's
can
get
turn the
there.
internet off. I bought data. It was like a little bit of a
it's-
struggle
it's
starting to get
beautiful.
live initially, but here we are live, and I'll keep buying data.
That's beautiful, do it
Like
then.
you are willing to boycott me,
No.
take away the thing that I use
No.
for my work,
No, I'm not.
because I'm speaking against your imaginary friend.
You see, there you go again.
Blaspheming again.
There you go again, Estienne. There you go again. If you don't want to submit to the rules, like I said to you, this is the rules of you staying here. And if you don't
I'm
want
not
to,
going to submit to those rules, Dad.
well, then don't stay
That's
here.
evil. To try and get me to submit to something for your sake
No,
is evil, Dad.
ultimately, Estienne, you know, if I honestly believed, and it's like I said to you the other day, you say, I want you guys to believe in God because I'm on an ego trip. I don't benefit at all
Yes,
from,
you
no,
do.
what do I benefit?
Dad, I've had a conversation with you. I asked you, what is your definition of success?
Yes.
Tell our friends.
My,
What-
my definition of success is at the end of my life, I don't care whether I've got $1 billion or rands in my account or whether I have 1 cent. My measure of success is do my children and my wife, do they serve God? And will I see them in this afterlife
Yeah,
again?
that's ego, Dad.
That's not it. That's not ego, because I'm looking after your good, not after my good. What am I going to benefit?
Your
I'm gonna be,
success.
no. I'm going to be in the presence of God.
Your
So
success.
whether you're there or you're not there is not going to take anything away from me, Estienne, because I'm going to have a relationship with God.
Okay.
But I would so love for you to be there.
I am
Because,
there, Dad.
because
We are
Estienne,
here right
no.
now. That's the
Only-
joke that you
no.
keep believing in. You have this idea that one day when we die, then maybe we can be together in heaven, while at the same time you're fucking our relationship up.
No, you know, and why do you choose to use swear words?
Because that's the powerfulest way to say it.
No, it's not. It's not.
How can you say it's more
it's
powerful
only,
than that? Try.
Huh? I'm messing it up.
That's not powerful.
No, it's what you believe. If you say I have to swear to express myself, it's one of 3 things, Estienne. Either you don't have better words, or you have low self-esteem,
Okay.
or you're just trying to prove a point which is silly.
Yeah, I am trying to prove a point.
Exactly, because you know I don't like it.
But that is what a point is. I don't care if you like it or not.
Exactly. So it's again, if you say you respect somebody and you love somebody, and you know, well, okay, this dude doesn't like us swearing here, because not even because I'm a Christian. It's
Social
untasteful.
conditioning.
It's untasteful.
It's social
Estienne.
conditioning is what it is, Dad.
No, it's not social conditioning.
It's you living as a
know-
slave
you
to
know
a
exactly,
system.
No, you know exactly where that word comes from, Estienne. It comes from a time where people were raped under the fornication and the consent of the king. That's where the word fuck comes from.
Sure, upon.
So it's a horrible word with a horrible connotation. So why would you want to use something with a horrible connotation and a horrible word? Why would you want to use it?
Because
in a
that's the
conversation?
way you make me feel, Dad. When I was talking
Okay.
about what I was talking about, and again, let's bring it back to the actual point. You
Mm-hmm.
want us to be in heaven one day, while at the same time you're actively working to ruin our relationship here right now.
Estienne, no.
Because
No,
of,
you
let me
can't blame
finish.
me.
Because of this imaginary friend you have,
Mm.
you would turn off my internet that you know is going to cause me difficulty. You know that.
And you know, for the same reason, that there's a rule now. And then you know that you say, well, if this rule is not in my liking, I'm going to disregard it.
Dad,
So see if that worldview is working anywhere in this life. Go to a boss one day. Go to Pick and Pay and take something off the shelf, and you say, okay, this thing is $20 or 20 or 50 rand, and you say, no, I'll give a rand, and you just put the rand down and you walk out. See if this view of yours to say, well, I'll choose which rules I'll follow and which I won't follow. If it doesn't make sense to me, I'll disregard it. See if this is working anywhere in life. If a lady one day says to you, I want to be treated in this way, you say, no, I'm going to treat you in this way. See if that's going to work. There's not one thing that you can mention in life that you can say, I will choose whether I'm going to follow a rule or not. And it's not going to have
Dad, when that
an
rule
effect.
is trying to dictate what I get to say or not, I
Eston,
get to make the decision. That
Okay.
is how it works. If it's my own body autonomy, I get to make the decision, not you. And you trying to force me to is fascism.
what about your body now?
That whether I say something or not. And
It's
then
got nothing
you,
to do with your body.
how does it that
So what did you say about your body? That's why I'm asking you. What did you say about your body?
how I speak, what I say is
Yeah?
my body.
No, it's not your body. That's your mind. Your body
Okay,
can't.
so I
your body
should I
can't
should
speak.
fix my mind then. Yeah, your body does speak.
No, your
Dad.
body. No.
So
It's-
if you have pain, what do you think that
You
is?
use your tongue,
If
your
you
vocal
hit your
cords and
toe
your stuff.
against if you hit your toe against the wall, what is that? If
That's
not
your
speaking.
body. That's your body, Eston. If you're asleep, you don't speak.
Yeah, I
don't-
do sometimes,
No,
actually.
you don't. No.
I've spoken
You
in my
don't-
sleep.
You don't, and you don't work on your computer, and you don't reason the way you do now, because your body is asleep now. It needs rest.
Uh-huh.
It means your mind is still going on because you dream and you have all these things.
Yeah.
These things are two separate entities.
Okay.
And then you've got the spirit realm. And that's why God created us that way. So that we can have some glimpse of what the Trinity is
Now
all
again,
about.
Dad, what gives you the idea
Mhm.
that you have control over that?
Over what?
Over me.
I don't have control over you,
Okay,
Eston.
then why are you
Not-
turning this internet off when I say something?
So are you the internet?
You're trying to control me, Dad.
No, are you
That's
the
what you're
internet?
doing.
No. What I said to you is here is a few rules.
Okay?
Rules of this
Dictate
house.
those rules. I'm not allowed to speak against your God. Is
No,
the
you're
rule.
not allowed to blaspheme.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you keep creating this idea like if I say something like your God is small, that is blaspheming.
Yes, it is.
Sure.
And you've said a few other things as well, huh?
Uh-huh.
Should we name them?
Sure. Go ahead.
No, I'm not even going to say that.
And go ahead, Dad.
What did you say to Shantae?
I told, and I've said this on stream as well, there was this conversation about me going to hell one day, because of what I believe. And I told her, straight to her face, that if that God wants to send me to hell, fuck that God. I won't believe in it.
Well, listen, that's exactly what the Bible says. Is Jesus says the world hates me because I show them on their transgressions.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
hate God,
Jesus's-
Dad.
that's
I love
Jesus's
God.
words.
I will hate the God that wants to damn me to an eternity for
Eston,
not following
but
his
you
rules.
see, this is where I say there's some disconnect here. Because if I say to you, if something is proven now as the truth,
Like what?
will you believe in it? And you say
It cannot
No,
be proven as a
but-
truth,
But
Dad.
you don't get it, Eston. I'm saying if. So we're not talking about proof here. We're not talking about anything else. We're talking about an if function here.
Mm.
So if something is true, so how you prove it is that's not part of the if question. The question is if this is true, if X is true, will X be acceptable? And you say no.
Yeah.
So how does that make logical sense at all? So we're not talking about the proof.
Again,
We're not talking about.
let me
No, but
give you the
no,
answer,
no.
Dad.
Mm.
I refuse,
Mhm.
even if it's a truth, to believe in a God that calls itself loving and then has eternal damnation as its punishment. I
Yeah.
will not believe in that God, Dad.
Well, Eston, that's your
It's
choice.
evil. That is actual
No,
Satan.
No, that's
That
not
is
evil.
Satan.
Eston,
That
if-
is the most evil thing
you
you could
still-
possibly do,
you
Dad.
still have your choice, and this is the beauty of it.
Sure.
And we're getting back to the analogy now. If God, if I can't force a lady to love me, even if I lock her up now, even if I say to her, listen, if you don't love me, I'm gonna beat you, and she's never gonna love me. So what's the best thing I can do for her now? Is I let her go. I said to her, okay, you don't want to love me. After I've sent you all the flowers, all the cards, all the chocolates, all the poems, I've sent you everything, and you still choose not to love me.
Now I'm going to lock you in a box of fire and then
No.
have demons torture you for eternity.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's what your God does,
Let's
Dad.
get to the analogy first. It's a no. What that is all these bad things. If God is good, even your God, if God is good and God is love and God is light and God is gracious and God is all these good things, if you now say, I don't want to have part of that, and all the goodness, all the light, all everything is now taken to one side, and you're going to go to a place where this is no
You're
more.
confused, Dad.
No, I'm not confused.
What I'm
No,
saying
listen
is
to them, listen
that
to
is
them.
the part that I'm a part of. I won't
No,
be a part of the
yeah,
part that is
no,
eternal
no,
damnation
Estem,
and
that
burning
is,
flesh and
at the
hell
end
and
at the
demons.
end of the day is you can again choose. There's rules, and I don't like that rule, so I'm going to disobey that rule. You know, and you've made it very clear now, is that is what you believe. Is your belief system goes about, if it feels right for me, if I think personally that is a good rule, I'll apply it.
If I
I'll
believe
adhere to
it's
that.
love, yeah,
You know,
I'll apply
then
it.
yeah. So the next guy can say the same. The next guy can say, well, I believe it is right to take from the rich and give to the poor. Let's call it the Robin Hood. Was he right? No, he wasn't right. You know, I've actually read up some literature about Robin Hood. He wasn't this very nice figure that they portray him to be. He was a scoundrel. You know, he didn't just take to give to the poor, and it was all these nice stories. He was a scoundrel. You know, the fact that he did do that, there was some truth that was there. But now they've pictured this picture very nice and clean and sweet. But still, he decided to disobey rules. What was the end of that? As he was punished for what he did wrong. So our whole life, there's nothing in this life that works without cause and effect. Not even nature. You know, and Newton had the wisdom to actually write this down. By the way, he was Christian as well. He was a scientist that said, okay, for every effect, there's going to be an equal and opposite counter effect.
Newton was also into alchemy, Dad.
Yeah. It's fine. He could have been into anything. The
Mm.
point is he discovered the math behind the law that already existed. So if I now say, well, I don't like gravity. I think this whole gravity thing should rather be 7.417. I'll even decide a very fancy number. First of all, life wouldn't have been, because that's one of the fine-tuning things is gravity. And you know, the number is almost infinitely long. If it was out by a very small amount, life couldn't have existed. So just go look at the fine-tuning of this world we're living in. And now, the best theory that the guys are coming up now, because even the clever scientists now say, well, even this 13 billion years that we've now allowed for all this to happen is just simply impossible. It's just not enough time.
Here we
So
are.
now they've created, yes, exactly. Go look at the base again. They're still trying to prove it coming from nothing. But yet here we are. So it couldn't have come from nothing.
I believe it came from
God.
consciousness.
No, it came
God,
from God.
sure.
Yes. God that had a personal feeling to say, I have to create. Why would consciousness just and we
Multiplicity and
no,
unity.
it can't create, because awareness can't create. It must be something that creates. Awareness can't create.
Okay, now where is this something, Dad?
It's beyond time, it's beyond space, and it's beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's consciousness. And we've
No,
already
it's not.
established it in this stream.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we have.
Consciousness wasn't before
It's
time.
beyond space and time.
No, it's not.
So it's
No.
before that.
Consciousness, it depends on what consciousness you're talking about. Was God conscious?
There
Yes, of course.
is no
Of course,
separation.
God was conscious.
Dad.
That's why God. What do you mean about what do you mean on separation? You need to
Separation
quantify that.
means that there is this, us,
Mhm.
and then there is this, God. There is no separation. It is
creator
a unity.
and creation. Of course, if you want to call it now being separate, of course it's separate. There's creation and there's creator. And that's why God created
Okay, and then I'll ask you
multiple.
again, where is that creator then?
God.
Mm,
He's everywhere.
yes, exactly.
Mm.
So including
God
us.
No, we are creation. Yeah. The fact that God gives us the right to be called children of God, and He gives us the right to say we can live in fellowship and in unionship with Him, that's a whole different thing, Etienne, and that's the beauty of Christianity. It's the only worldview that allows you the opportunity to actually connect with God. That makes sense. That says it's not about me. It's about this God that created everything.
Your connection to God is literally you sitting here right now, Dad.
No, it's not. No, it's not. My sitting here, this piece of flesh that sits here, it's got no connection with God.
Yes, it does,
My
Dad.
spirit
If
and
you
my thoughts.
if you lost
and
your connection to God, you
this
would
is
drop
what-
dead instantaneously.
Yeah, that I believe. That I believe. If I lose my sense of oxygen as well, I also drop dead. There's a lot of things that can kill you.
There is no
And-
separation.
And what does the Bible say about that? It is sin.
that separated
That's
us.
why we die.
We're not separate, Dad.
Separate from what, Estienne?
From God.
Yeah. You see, there's and this I said to you, our worldviews are touching on each other. Because a part of this I do believe. I don't believe that God sits there and he's the old man with the whip and he just sees where he can punish us. I see God as a loving God that says, I want to have a relationship with you. I talk with God right through the day.
Me too.
And I have this relationship with him.
Me too.
But I understand my role in this whole thing. And I keep on saying thank you, God, for this beautiful world that He's created.
Me too.
And that I know that I'm falling short on so many things. And that He supplied a Savior to say, well, because I know you, is your God just? Is He infinitely just?
My God is love.
Is He is
Able
love
to
good?
endure everything.
Is
Dad.
love good?
Everything.
Is love good?
Love is everything,
No,
Dad.
no,
Good
no.
and bad.
So love is bad.
Love can be bad.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, evil. So love can be evil as well.
That your love,
No,
your God's love is
no,
evil.
no, don't come to me. I'm asking you questions now.
Okay, so,
So
your
you say-
loving God damns people for eternity.
No.
That's evil.
No,
and
that's not.
you believe He does that
No.
because He loves us.
He doesn't damn you. He says you choose not to be in my presence.
Okay.
So I'm allowing
So
you.
why did He create a
I'm
hell?
allowing you not to be in your presence.
Why did He create a hell?
What He create hell is for those that do not obey Him.
Okay, so I'm gonna build a whole
Yeah, but
place
what is hell?
and then employ someone
Okay,
and
what-
employ a
what-
bunch of demons
But
to make sure that
but
they get
what
tortured.
is hell?
A hell in your mind is the separation from God.
No, don't think what I think. But that is exactly what hell is.
Yeah,
Is the separation from God.
yeah. And
So-
you
so
live
sorry,
in,
sorry, they right?
and you put yourself in hell actively, Dad. And I see
Yes.
that.
No. You choose. You choose to say, well, I'm not going to obey God's rules because in my worldview, your worldview,
I'm already
I
in
will
heaven.
choose. No, you can't be in heaven, Estan. Like I say to you, you're actually in heaven because you can sit here the whole day and you can just open the fridge and you can switch on the lights and you don't have to do nothing here on the farm. You don't mow the lawn. You don't do nothing here. You sometimes help mom with biscuits and stuff, but the rest, it's
I do nothing.
you are in heaven.
Yeah.
I'm just saying now, you're helping her sometimes with biscuits and rusks and stuff. So yeah, but is that work? What are you doing the rest of the day? Estan? Yeah.
Yeah, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing nothing. You're right. Continue going.
Okay. How much time do you spend on YouTube?
Probably
Not working. No, but remember now.
most of my time is actually spent learning.
Okay, Estan. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want me to believe it, I don't believe it because every time I walk in there, I see you watching YouTube videos and stuff. So
Learning.
yeah, okay, you can call it whatever you want, Estienne. Like I say to you, in your perspective, to say, well, I don't have to get up at certain time in the morning. I'm keep on saying this. What you're doing here and your commitment and your tenacity about this whole thing, I admire that to world's ends. You know, and go speak to anybody that I speak to about my kids, and this is what they'll know about you. And even if they meet you, they will say to you, "Oh, you're the guy that's so steadfast in the way you perceive." And they will tell you that. They
Dad,
will probably also tell you, but
how do you think
hear-
I
hear
have
you.
that level of stability?
No,
How do
it's-
you think
it's-
I
it's-
maintain it?
It's probably because of you, Estienne.
No, it's
okay,
because I already live in heaven, not
like I
separate
say,
from God.
No, like I say,
Like
Estienne,
you literally tell me to my face that you are separate from God, And
No,
then
I'm
in
not.
the same
No,
breath,
no,
you tell
I'm
me
not.
that hell is separation
I'm
from
not
God.
separate from God. I'm not separate from God. I've accepted Jesus. So I can't be separate anymore. He gave me the right to be called a child of God.
Puppy, come.
Not God. He gives you the right to be called a child of God. That's a difference, Estienne. Yeah, it's a difference you have to understand. To say, well, I'm not becoming the father, I'm becoming the child. I'm not becoming the creator, I'm becoming the part of the creation.
I am the beloved
That's-
of God, Dad.
Yes, no, definitely. That's what I am as well. But what does that mean? God loves us all.
It means I'm already
Even the,
absolved.
even the greatest
I'm
sinner,
already saved.
even the Hitlers and the Mussolinis and the Powers and all these guys of the world, he loved all of them equally. But do you think that Hitler's in heaven now?
Yeah, I do.
No, that's unfair, God.
Why?
That's unfair.
Why?
He's killed millions of
Yeah,
people.
he sent so many to heaven.
Oh, okay, so it's fine. So it's fine to rape and kill and pillage and
Not what I said.
no, okay, but okay,
That's still causing harm.
He did all that, eh? He
Yeah.
did all that. So
As
but-
God,
and you say he's
to
in heaven now,
God.
and he's in heaven now.
I believe there is no separation.
Yeah, well,
Why do
listen,
you want to damn anybody to hell, Dad?
I didn't want to damn nobody.
You just damned Hitler to hell.
God doesn't. I didn't damn him to hell.
Who did then?
I said to him, he made choices.
Uh-huh.
Well, if he's in heaven now, I'll be super surprised. I wasn't there on his deathbed though. I don't know if he had if he repented and accepted Jesus. I don't know.
And if he did,
If
he's
he-
going to heaven, Dad.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the gospel.
That's beautiful to you.
Of course, that's the man on the cross next to Jesus that says, "Lord, please remember me." Realizing that, hey, what I've done. This is why he quieted the guy there, and this is not the biblical things. This is what the Roman scholars wrote down there. The secularists, the scholars. Said he reprimanded the other guy and said, "Hey, we deserve to be here. This guy doesn't deserve to be here." Even the thief on the cross realized that Christ is dying not for anything he has done. So what did he die for? Why did Jesus at the end, just before he died, why would he say something like, "It is finished"? Not unfinished, it is finished. It's the work that he came to do.
So what is finished, Dad?
Taking the sin of the world upon himself.
There we go. So it's done, Dad.
Yeah?
So why do you keep
So
taking the sin
then-
of the world upon yourself?
No. I'm not taking the sin of the world upon
you a
myself.
sinner?
No, I can't. It's not the sin of the world. The sin you do, Esther, I can't take that upon myself. It's
Are
your
you
sin.
a sinner? Are you
Yes,
born
I
in
am.
sin?
Yes, I am.
So clearly Jesus did nothing then.
No, that's where you miss it again. That's if you accept him. And this is the acceptance thing, Esther. So it's not a free for all now. That is the same thing that we had our argument about. If I say to you, Estienne, there are certain rules. If you disobey these rules, this is going to be the consequences. If I say to, and we had this thing about the diesel engine as well. If I say, well, I'm going to put petrol in this diesel engine because it's very unfair of me to expect these rules that you only have to put diesel into a diesel engine. I can put petrol in there. And I think it's very unfair, and I think it's not godly, and you can have 20 reasons. So if you disobey the rules, it's going to be consequences. It works like that with everything in life.
Okay.
Everything.
So
but now you
what
say,
consequences, Dad?
with your eternity, no, it doesn't apply.
Dad, you are hurting our relationship in this moment because of your rules, not God's rules, because of your rules.
No, Islam, but you see, this is now the same analogy. If a guy is late, he will say, "No, the bus has left me," or if he falls off a bicycle, he says, "The bicycle threw me." It's exactly what you're doing now. You don't want to take the ownership on yourself to say, "I've disobeyed the rule."
I take full responsibility.
Well, okay, then why do you say that I have now
Because
done this?
you're expecting me to not say things.
Well, Estienne, if it is harmful and
It's
if it's
not
causing,
harmful.
No, but it is, Estienne.
How is it harmful?
Estienne,
How does it harm you to call your God small, Dad? How does it
Listen.
harm you? Tell me, how does it harm you?
because I've learned something in life about respect, you know, and respect of God comes first. So if you say respect means nothing in your life, Because you say now, you want to make your own rules. You're not going to respect our rules. So you don't have respect for God.
If
you
your
don't have
rules
respect.
is trying to control my body autonomy.
May I finish now? No, it's not your body autonomy.
Yes, it is.
No, it's your choice. It's your mind. It's what you think, and you said it as well. You don't say my body says I want to do whatever. He says I'm choosing. If I think the rule is not applicable to me, then I'll disobey it. That's what you said. So don't bring your body in now and say, it's only my body that did these things and I had no control over it. It's my body that did it. It's copping out. Do you see that it's copping out of you?
Okay.
You say, well, it's not me.
Now, I like how
I
you make
have no
this example, but
responsibility.
then you want to control my mind as well, on top of the fact that you want to control
I
my
don't want to
body.
control nothing of you, Estienne.
Can I say what I want to say?
You can say what you want to say.
If I tell you that your God doesn't exist, that's also blaspheming.
Estienne, I can say to you that gravity doesn't exist. Oh, I'm wrong.
Okay? Now, prove to me in the same way. Your
around
God
you.
doesn't exist.
Look around you.
This has been here the whole time.
No, it's not been. No. Okay, so we're getting back to the point. We see we're running in circles here. So all the scientists in the world is wrong, but Estienne is right. Can you see that
That's what I
Estienne, it
said.
doesn't compute?
That's exactly what I said.
No,
You're
because
right.
you saying that everything here has always been. Go ask the scientists.
Prove to me that it hasn't that.
No, I can't prove it. I'm not a scientist. I'm an
can't.
engineer. No, go read on the scientists. You know, and don't go to Christian scientists. Go to atheist scientists and ask them if this has just always been. They will tell you no, it had a beginning. And this is their conundrum as well. And if you speak to the Richard Dawkins, all these guys, ask them what is the trouble thing, and they say it's the fine tuning of the universe, and the fact that it had a start. That's what they battle with, because they can't get their minds around that. So you might think you're right, and all science in this world is wrong, and that is your choice as well. I mean, you have the right to do that. Because you just told me in your worldview is if I don't want to believe something, I just don't have to.
Yeah.
And I can just say, no,
Yeah.
all the scientists in the world is wrong, I'm right.
That,
And you have that
what
right.
I'm right about is that I love my life.
Yeah, it's
And
beautiful.
I do not believe I'm a sinner.
Oh,
I
well,
believe I'm capable of sin, but I do not identify with that label. And you
Estienne,
do.
no, the only reason that I'm not sinning anymore, I'm trying not to sin anymore, but does that make me not being a sinner? I'm forgiven for my sins. I can't forgive myself for something that I've done. I can't forgive myself.
Yes, you can.
No. If I bump my toe, I can forgive myself for walking into something. Yeah, that's fine. But I can't, with the ripple effect of things that I do. If I say something to somebody and that somebody goes out and because I said this to him, the ripple effect is that I can't sort it out. Not even if I am the God that you say I am. I won't be able to sort it out because I don't know the ripple effect of things that I do. If I hurt somebody in a way in causing sin, whether I stole something from him, whether I told him a lie, whether I've disrespected him, any of the ones, whether I hated him, I don't know the ripple effects. And that's why I can forgive myself. Yeah, but that's silly to say, well, it's all about me again now. So I forgive myself. It's fine. What about the ripple effect? That's why the only person that can sort the ripple effect out is Jesus. Because he died for everybody's sins.
Clearly, he didn't. He only died for those who accept him.
No, he died for everyone, Estienne.
Okay.
And he gave the right.
Then why aren't we already saved?
The word says God will not that anyone is punished. It said in his word. He doesn't want anybody to go to hell. So that's his heart. Mm-hmm. He wants everybody to be saved.
But only if they follow the rules.
Of course, Estienne, because this is what everything in life is
about. That is an evil God.
Everything. Well, then it's evil science as well. Why must this thing fall? I would actually like this thing just to stay there. So whenever I want to take a bite in it, I would love to change a lot of the rules of nature. But because I don't understand what's going to happen,
You're
I might
trying
say,
to attach the rules of nature to your imaginary rules,
who
Dad.
created the rules of nature?
Here the rules of nature are. We're
Who
following
created-
them.
No, who created it? It also started.
The rules of nature
Okay,
is
okay,
literally
okay, but okay,
at the base
okay,
of
no,
reality.
okay, okay. You don't believe science, so you don't believe in logic. You don't believe in science.
Yeah, sure.
No. I've asked you.
Uh-huh.
I've asked you.
I
is
don't believe
something?
in logic.
Yes.
I don't believe in science.
I
Okay.
said because
Mhm.
my question was, if something is the truth, irrespective, would you believe in it? And you say no. That's not logical.
Okay, so I don't believe in logic. Uh-huh.
Yes.
And science?
Yeah.
What did I
Well,
say?
you just now said this was always here. So the scientist says it's not. So you don't believe in science, and you don't believe in logic.
Dad, do you know what cyclical means? Do you know what infinity means?
Extend that's beautiful words because people can't explain, and this is why they came up with the multiverse as well. That's
Yeah.
another one, because they said they saw. Oh, good grief, we can't put this 13.1 billion years. We can't have life happening. So then somebody came up and says, well, why don't we say there's infinite universes? Can't prove it. Just there's a concept. So let's say there's infinite universes. That's a nice cop-out.
There's a cop-out.
To say, well, I'm not going to accept what science tells us now.
Where did God
is
come
with
from?
With the red shift, God was always.
That's a cop-out.
No, it's not. It's because you're trying to put God into creation.
Uh-huh. And you're trying to put infinite universes into creation.
No, infinite universes still has the same problem. All of them, with the redshift, with the expanding, all of them started from nothing.
Cyclical.
No, Eston, you can use all kinds of fancy words.
It's not a fancy word.
No, it's fancy words that scientists says, well, we can't explain. We know that life has started on a point. We know that the universe has started from a point, from nothing. So they say, okay, we've got this conundrum now. We either have to now say, well, okay, perhaps God created, or let's think up more theories. And this is why I said to you, I can think of a lot of theories, and the theory of to say, well, how can I prove that we were here 10 minutes ago? And that everything 10 minutes ago wasn't just being printed in our minds and all this was just created for us to believe that what we now experiencing wasn't here 10 minutes ago. I mean, that is just as plausible as this cyclical thing that you're talking about now.
Exactly.
So is the Matrix, and so is Star Trek, and so is all these other things. Yeah, so is all of this. What makes more sense? That's the question you have to ask. To say, well, I can't explain it. I see that all science that we do, and this is the clever secular scientists, not the Christian scientists, they say this whole universe had a beginning, had a start from nothing. So now I say, okay, but how do we explain this now? Okay, let's put infinite universes in there, and let's put say this thing contracts and comes together and contracts. If you can get your mind wrapped around saying that everything that we see here in the known universe was condensed into the point at the end of this page. That's what we studied. The whole evolution and the beginning and the Big Bang theories. I studied that in university. So it was condensed into the point at the end of the sentence. If you can believe that everything that we see in this known universe, all the galaxies, all the stars, everything condensed into one point, that's faith. That's real faith. And I've got respect for somebody that believes that.
Do you know what a singularity is, Dad?
No, it's all nice words, Estienne. It's singularity and it's infinity and it's words to say, well, I'm going to use fancy words because I don't understand it. And none of us do. None of us do. But now I don't understand it, but I don't want to accept there's a God that actually created this and he's got certain rules. But I don't want to obey these rules. So let me think of words like singularity and infinity and multiverse and all these things just to get away from God. That's the reality of it, and you can argue about that, and I can think up another 7 words that's also going to have theories to say, well, this is This is not reality. But what is more plausible? That's the question you have to ask.
Yeah, what's more plausible that a God
And this
that
is
was
what I'm
never
saying.
created just happened to then create something?
Yeah,
Okay, then why hasn't he created other universes?
other universes.
Yeah. You were talking about how multiverse theory is also just another word that we're trying to get away from God. Why didn't God create more than one universe?
I don't see any proof of it.
Oh,
I'm not.
wow.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying there's no proof of it.
There's no proof of God, Dad.
Estienne, look around you.
Okay, then this is
Look-
proof of the multiverses.
No, it's not. No, it's not, Estienne.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's in this. It's proof in the same way that you're choosing
No,
to use
it's
it as
not.
proof that your God exists. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Go look at the Bible and see all the scientific facts that's been written up on the Bible, and just look at the authenticity of the Bible, right from the start, right through to Revelations, and how the prophecies came to pass, and how everything that's been said about Jesus came to pass, how Jesus led a perfect, sinless life, how he died and was crucified, and how he rose again on the third day, and the evidence behind that. And then you say, okay, I either have to believe the evidence or I have to believe what I want to believe.
Yeah, Dad.
And this is
My
now coming
evidence
back,
is this moment.
I hear, Estienne, and I've heard now already that you say, whatever I feel is the right thing, that's right for me. So what
That's
if,
how you're
so
towards
what,
that.
yeah, but what if the next guy feels something different?
Then let him.
Yeah, and then that's true.
Yeah.
Okay? And if the next guy feels something different that's contradicting to what you believe, is that also right?
That is how infinity works, Dad.
Yeah, but Estienne, you see, some way this thing is going to fall flat.
It clearly
Because-
hasn't.
No, it clearly has.
Billions of people have believed converging ideas, Dad,
Yes.
and things haven't fallen flat yet.
So you think this world is not pretty much messed up?
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, Estienne.
You
Go,
have been
go speak to
indoctrinated,
no. Go speak to people that work with child abuse. Go speak to people who work with women abuse.
Yeah.
Go speak to people who work in Africa where there's, and it's not slavery, where people are treated like animals, you know? Same race, guys.
Yeah.
They treat each other like animals.
You think that's a snapshot for everyone and for everything?
No. You just now said everything is working.
No, I
beautifully.
didn't say that.
Okay, let's look at what's happening around us. Do you think this world is in such beautiful harmony? You know, you would believe that, Estienne, because you sitting here in an isolated cocoon.
Dad, I've traveled.
Yeah, you have.
I've been to a different
And
country. I've
yes,
worked there.
And you
I
told
still
me
come up
and you told
with
me
this saying.
horrible things about those people and how
Not about
you're
those people.
disgusted by them.
No, I
Oh
didn't.
yes, Estienne. Oh
No,
yes,
I
oh
didn't.
yes, you did.
No, I
Oh
didn't.
yeah,
Dad.
okay. Some more lies. It's
You're the
fine.
one that's lying.
No, Estienne. So you had only good things to say about Chinese.
I never talked bad about the Chinese people. I talked bad about the system,
Okay.
about the way they treat their people.
Huh?
That is what I have a problem with.
Okay. So who treats people wrong? Is it
The
people?
government.
Okay.
Dad.
So that's not people. So that's not people.
So me talking about the government. Do you like the government, Dad?
Our government.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay, so
as a
why are you
point-
why
as
are
a
you
point,
talking
I
why
don't-
are you talking to like that about people, Dad? Why are you talking about people like that?
No. But I'm not the guy that says,
Yeah,
listen,
nice.
love has no
It's true.
rules.
No.
No.
Say love is true.
Okay, or truth has no rules.
I haven't said
not
that.
Okay, so does it have rules?
Truth is at the base of our reality,
Does
Dad.
it have rules?
I don't really think it needs to have rules other
Okay.
than the fact of
Okay,
the existence.
So then what I'm saying is then right.
What are you saying?
If you say Estienne, but why is the Chinese government wrong then?
Because they literally treat their people like slaves,
But
Dad.
why is that wrong?
Yes, fuck, what's wrong with you?
No, why is it wrong, Estienne? If you believe that we are all coming from scum and we don't have
I don't believe that. You believe that.
No, okay, so do you believe in evolution?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that is what?
Are you coming from scum then?
Yeah, okay, or proverbial
It's
soup.
God, Dad. Everything is God.
No,
Again,
it came from a proverbial
it came
soup.
from God.
No?
That primordial
Okay.
soup is also God.
Yeah, okay, well, you can try to believe that, Estienne.
There is no separation.
You can believe that that God is a soup now. Just now he was a sheep and now he's a soup. Okay.
Yeah, I was
So-
telling my
so-
dad that what he was eating is God as well. There is no separation.
Yeah. And my question to you was, why do you still eat meat then? If you believe that is
Because
God,
I love.
is why do you eat? And then you say to me, no, but God eats us as well. So I said to
It's
you, no.
cyclical. The Ouroboros, the self-eating
Yeah,
snake.
no. Yeah. Easton. It's like I said to you,
Ancient
but
symbolism.
at least tomorrow you've watched a few more YouTube videos and then you'll believe something else again. So that's also fine.
Sure.
And this is why I keep on entertaining
And
this.
you keep watching the same YouTube videos and you keep believing the same thing.
The same thing.
And
yeah.
you think that's better.
Yes.
And you're unwilling to actually explore.
That's a lie, Easton, and you know this.
Okay, eat mushrooms with me.
Why do you want me to eat mushrooms?
So you can see for yourself.
Why do I have to take drugs?
So you can
So-
see
no, no,
for
no,
yourself.
No. Why do I have to take drugs?
So you can see for yourself
See what for myself?
what that experience holds for you.
Okay. So now there is the scripture that says, "Don't dwell in this place because it is dangerous."
So why did Jesus give it to
So-
us?
What did he give?
As
Cyanide to us?
mushrooms.
What did he give cyanide to us?
That kills you. Mushrooms don't kill you, it helps you.
Okay. Why is the mushrooms that do kill you?
Dad, we have the
Yes,
logic to actually experiment and see which kills us and which don't.
And now everything that doesn't kill us, we must eat.
Do we have Alzheimer's in our family, Dad?
Yeah.
Do you know that
Mhm.
mushrooms help with Alzheimer's?
Yeah, we had this discussion.
So why did God give us that
And I-
medicine?
And I said to you, I'm happy with microdosage, Easton. I'm happy with that. If it is about the medicine after this, I'm happy to take it. And I've said this to you 100 times.
You're not happy to take it, Dad.
That's a lie.
Sometimes you have
Yeah.
to take a high dose of the medicine for it to work
No,
properly.
No, I've read up about it. It's not the truth.
It is the truth.
No,
Dad.
it's not the
You
truth.
cannot have the psychedelic experience without having the psychedelic experience.
No. For Alzheimer's, no. That's not what the literature says. It says that microdosing will help for that as well.
It boosts interconnectivity no matter how
Yep.
much you use of it. Dad.
There you go. So I don't have to go on a trip where I
Why
crawl-
don't you
crawl
want
on the
to?
grass. Why do I have to?
So you can experience it for yourself.
Okay.
Why are you scared to experience that
I'm asking
for
you,
yourself?
I'm asking you the same question: is why don't you try Christianity? Then you can experience what I'm experiencing for yourself.
Dad, because to try Christianity, I have to jump through a bunch of mental loops. To try mushrooms, I have to eat mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's it.
No,
That's how hard it is.
it's not as easy. So you want to tell me that Christianity is complex?
Yes, it is,
No,
Dad.
it's not.
Okay,
It's-
what is
it
the
is
Trinity?
so
Explain
easy.
the Trinity to me.
Explain your body to me. Do you believe that you have a body? Do
Yeah.
you believe that you have a soul? Do you believe that you have a spirit?
No.
Okay, so when you die, it's gone. It's nothing.
I believe I'm consciousness
Okay, so
as a
what is that?
masculine aspect, and
what
I
is it?
believe I am embodied, a feminine aspect.
Okay, so there's already two now. So
As
so-
infinity.
Okay, so how do you explain two now? So if you can't even explain, okay,
Two
explain
is
to me.
significantly easier to explain.
Let me ask you an easy thing because this is something known to us for always now. What is energy?
Wave function.
Nope. That's the effect of energy. What is energy?
I'm not exactly sure other than a wave function.
No. You see, that is how you can write it down. And here's an interesting thing as well. Go ask scientists that works with energy their whole lives. Even the Einsteins of the world. They don't know what it is. They can tell you what the effect
So
of
I'm
it is.
supposed to tell you what it is.
No, that's what I'm asking you. So there's certain things, Can I explain to you that you will understand it, what the Trinity is about? I don't think I will be able to, Estienne.
Okay,
It is
Dad,
God.
but that's the
it
point
is
I'm
God,
trying
it's
to
one-
make.
It's one God.
You
Let-
cannot
let-
even
listen.
explain
No,
it.
let me
I can
explain.
give you
Let me
mushrooms
explain
and
to
you can understand perfectly what
No.
I'm talking about.
That as your view. If everybody came out with the exact same view, then I kind of would have believed it, but they're not. Go read up on it, and I sent you some of the documentation. There's people that has bad trips. There's people that has problems after that. There is risk to it as
You know
well.
what the percentage is, Dad?
Irrespective.
Significantly lower
Is it
than
is it
alcohol.
more? I agree with you, and I've never said alcohol's a good thing.
And yet you
Is
drink it?
Yes, I do. Do I abuse it?
Sometimes.
When? When have you seen me abuse it?
Dad,
I'm not talking about
if
10 and 20 years
you
ago.
feel the effects of alcohol, it is abuse.
Okay, Estienne,
There's no medical benefit. None.
that's what you say.
No, that's scientific literature. Go and read up on that as well if you want to. There's not
Okay.
even red wine. There
Okay.
is no
It's your feeling.
health benefit. It's not feeling, it's scientific evidence.
Okay,
And
I'll
yet there
get it.
is
I'll get it.
scientific evidence that mushrooms do have
Yeah,
benefits.
and that you can do microdosing on it. So I can't see why I need to take a
So that
massive
you can have the
a
experience.
massive dosage, which you already said to me I don't need. So why do I have to take a substance to seek truth?
Why do you
No,
watch
no,
movies?
no. Listen.
Why do you watch YouTube videos?
It's not a substance.
Yes, it is.
No.
It's something you
No,
ingest.
I'm not putting the phone in my mouth to say, well, I'm eating this
You're
now.
putting it in your ears and eyes, Dad.
Christian, really? Really?
You consume with all parts of
No,
yourself.
no.
Yes.
If it's when I'm watching a movie, I say, okay, oh, this is nice and everything. And if somebody says to me, listen, can I quickly take this phone call? I can pause the video and I can have a conversation with somebody. Can I, when I'm on the peak of my mushroom trip, 15 gram or 20 gram
Just
trip?
why
No,
would you
I
take
don't know.
that much?
I don't know how much you want me to take, Christian.
Like
Okay.
3.
Okay. At the peak of my, if I had to help somebody that has got a life crisis,
100% you'll be able to.
and I'll get in my car and I'll drive to him,
Yes, you will be able to.
100% no.
Yes, you will be able to.
No.
On mushrooms, definitely. On
No. Okay.
alcohol, not.
Okay, then everybody is wrong again. Then everybody is wrong again. As they say, it impairs your driving ability. It impairs your 3D cognitivity. It impairs it. So if you want to say to me that if you're on drugs, that you are as conscious as what you are without it, then you can believe it, Esther. I don't believe it. And I don't know if
You
anybody
haven't
here,
had the
I don't know if
experience
anybody
yourself.
here believes it, that says, well, if there's a crisis and I'm on the peak of a
And what
of a trip,
crises do you have, Dad?
Esther,
You create
we're staying
these
on a farm.
ideas in your
We're staying
head.
on a farm.
Yeah.
I'm a father of a house. I need to
Yeah.
protect people here. It's part of my
You
role.
haven't protected us,
So
Dad.
that's what you say.
Like,
Esther.
how long have we lived here, Dad? How long have you lived here?
17 years.
And how many
16
times
years.
were you expected to be so sober that you can deal with the crisis? Not once. Not once. And now you want to use that as your standing point for why you don't want to do
So
it.
you want to tell me that in the 17 years there was nowhere a borehole or electricity or something that went wrong here that had to get my attention.
You don't have to eat mushrooms every day of your life, Dad.
listen,
I want you to do it once. Right now.
I want you to
while
become
it's
a
a
Christian
Saturday
once.
night.
No, not interested.
Yeah, I know you're not, Dad, because you're scared.
Where do you get this scared thing from, Estienne?
Dad, only people who are scared fight this much against something.
No, only people that says, well, I can't see the real benefit in it. Only people that
There's
thinks
proven
logically,
benefit.
only people that thinks logically about things to say, well, why do I need it? You know, the moment you tell me I need to do it, my first question is why?
So that you can experience it for
Okay?
yourself.
Why do I need to experience it for myself?
So that you have that frame of reference, Dad.
Okay?
So that you actually know what you're talking about, because you don't.
Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, Estienne, that's
You talk about
that's
the
your-
spiritual experience,
that's your
Dad.
view. That's your view, Estienne.
And it's
I said to you-
conceptualized.
I said to you,
not embodied.
try Christianity, and if you have a relationship with God, you will see that all these things that you have to take drugs for comes naturally when you have a walk with God. Do I have a perfect walk with God? Do I have the walk that I would actually love to have? Do I have the walk that I think He wants to have with me? No, I don't. And it saddens me to say that even if I try so hard, I will never be able to get to a point where I can now say, well, God, if you're not satisfied with me now, I am like the best thing that's ever happened to you in your whole creation. I think that is so silly, Estienne. And I know, because I know myself, I'll never get to a point where I know now my thoughts and everything that I do is now in line with the life of Christ, to say, well, there is no sin found in Him. Perhaps it's just me. Perhaps it's just me that feel that I'm not going to get to a point where I will be honestly and openly be able to tell somebody, you won't find any sin whatsoever in me. I can't do it.
I don't
so
understand the
so
point you're trying to make.
perhaps it's just me, but for that reason, I need a savior. I need somebody for those periods that I say I can't foresee the ripple effects of things I do. I can't see how this impacts all the people around me. For that, I need somebody that will take it with me, that can see everything. And that person is Jesus. And that's why I trust him.
He doesn't exist, Dad.
That's what you think, Estienne.
He doesn't exist.
That's what you think.
It's a conceptualization
No.
inside of you
Estienne,
that
I
you
said to you,
create.
no. I said to you, go look at the historical things about Jesus.
Dad,
Go look
even
at it.
if it's in history, he does not exist in this moment.
That's what you believe,
And you
Estienne.
choose to ruin relationships
that's what you believe.
because of this
Estienne.
imaginary idea you have.
You can say that 100 times, Estienne. If you haven't studied Christianity yet, if you don't know the life of Jesus, if you don't go, and I challenged you already before that, is proof that Christ wasn't crucified.
I don't have to, Dad.
Huh? But this is, Estienne, you asked me once, is what will crush my faith? And here I will say it in front of everybody. If you can prove to me that Jesus didn't rise from the dead, I'll believe in anything you tell me. I'll eat a kilogram of mushrooms with you.
Dad, you don't have to
No.
eat a kilogram of mushrooms.
I'll eat whatever you want to tell me. I'll even eat poison. No? But this is and God is my witness in this, my God. That if you can prove that Christ did not die and did not rise from the dead, I will believe in anything you say. Because then it means
It's impossible, Dad.
I've been a fool. No, it's actually not that impossible.
It is impossible.
No. There is so much evidence for this.
no
If you, there is so much.
There's no
There's
evidence
so
whatsoever,
much.
Dad.
You know, go look on the internet. There's so many atheists that actually took this quest seriously, and they went to Israel and they studied, and
Word of mouth.
word of mouth.
That's what they're taking as the evidence, Dad.
Okay, you can believe
That's not evidence.
You can believe whatever you want to
It's
believe.
Bayesian reasoning, Dad. What's more likely? That people make things up or that people rise from the dead?
Okay, why will people make up something that's going to get them punished and whipped and thrown into jail?
Attention. For one. That's like one
silly.
reason.
That's the
Bayesian
silliest-
reasoning. What's
that's
more
the
likely?
silliest reason. That's the silliest reason ever, Estienne, to say, well, I'm going to believe in something. I'm not going to get any benefit. Nobody is going to think I'm great. Nobody
Okay,
is.
Dad.
Nobody is.
So what I
nobody is
believe,
gonna
am I
give me
getting
any
benefit
money.
in this family?
Nobody,
You just turned my internet off because of what I believe.
it's not your internet.
So
Estienne.
why am I
So
believing
how is
it?
this your internet all of a sudden? Are you paying for it?
Our internet. The house internet. Sorry.
It is our internet.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not mine.
So you
it's
turned
not-
my internet
No,
off.
but
You have
Estienne-
internet.
Estienne-
You keep the password
no.
for all of the rest of the family, but you're turning it off for me. Are you not going to connect?
Look,
Are you not going to connect?
Look.
Are you not going to connect?
I'm not going to connect.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Only
But-
I
but
can't
I'm-
connect.
But I'm
So
following
the
rules.
internet is off for me.
I'm following
not
the
for
rules.
everyone else.
I'm following the rules. And
Is the
anybody
internet
that
off for me or for anyone else?
for anybody that doesn't follow the rules. So whoever that is, and
Sure.
I'll be honest enough. If I don't follow the rules, and you say to me, hey, Dad, you are going back on what you say you believe, I'll switch mine off as well. How's that? And this I've told you guys from a very early age. If you see me doing something that is in contrast with what I believe, please show me on that.
The way
And
you
Mike-
act, Dad.
The way I act.
You do not inspire Christianity in me.
Estienne, I can't inspire anything in you.
Yeah, you don't.
No, but I
You
can't.
inspire rage in me.
Yeah, but that's your choice, Estienne.
How's it my choice, Dad?
So if you have an aggressive nature because of what you believe, because your belief is, and you've said it now. Yeah, you've said it. If I don't get my way, if it's not what I like, I don't have to do it. So if I don't have to do it, and somebody says to me, yeah, but this is the rules, then I can get angry and I can get nasty. So if you have a belief system, Estienne, that says aggression and all these things and disrespect and all this is my core beliefs, then don't say my core belief is love.
I haven't been aggressive once this whole stream.
Okay, that's your feeling. As you just said now, is that I'm making you angry, and I'm taking your stuff
Inspiring
away.
rage.
Inspiring rage. Okay, I'm inspiring rage in you. So
Yeah.
how can I inspire
I can
anything
still
in you,
choose
Esteban?
from a loving perspective to not act that way.
Okay, then
And
then
you
I applaud.
chose, from
Then
your
I applaud.
perspective, to punish me
No,
for not following your rules because I
no.
made you angry.
There's the rule,
That's
Esteban.
the difference between me and you,
Let's
Dad.
get back to
Like, let me just say
gravity.
this as well.
There's the rule.
Like, I have a UPS that is powering the Wi-Fi right now. And in like 2 hours or like an hour or
No,
something,
it's not going off tonight.
not going off,
No.
but the power goes off sporadically. I'm not gonna go now and like pull my UPS from the closet because fuck my dad, you know, he turns my internet off. He doesn't get to have internet when the power is off either. I'm gonna keep it there because I actually care and love you.
No, you care
And
about yourself, Esteban.
that if I cared about
No.
myself, I would take
No,
that
take
out
it.
as a
Take it.
spite. No, I'm
Take
not
it.
gonna do that because
Esteban.
I actually care about you and I want you to
Yeah,
have internet.
but
That's
yeah,
the
because
difference between you and me.
No, the
You
difference.
believe
No.
we're separate, Dad.
No.
I
The
don't
difference-
believe we're
no,
separate.
No, the difference is, Esteban, is you've made it very clear that if you don't like it, you're not going to follow the rules. You made it very clear. You know, and I'm glad this is state because this is what you've said repeatedly. If it doesn't make sense to you, a rule, then you will just disobey it.
Yeah.
So even if it's disrespectful, even if it's unkind, even it doesn't matter. If it doesn't make sense to you, you will disrespect it. You will disregard that rule. Now, Esteban, if that's a rule, and you say, "Well, I'm making the choice to disregard it," how is it then my fault?
Dad,
That
and I've
if
had this
you
conversation
choose-
with you.
That you choose
One
to
day
do
when I have my own home, and now it's a rule
Yes.
that on Sundays we eat 5 grams of mushrooms, and I expect you to do that to your body, and you tell me, no, I'm not going to do that. And then, I turn
then
off your
I'll leave-
internet for
no,
it.
then I'll leave Sunday morning.
Yeah,
I'll
Dad.
come visit you and we'll have nice
You
fellowship.
won't get to
and-
visit me.
Oh, well, okay, Esteban, that's also your
That'll
choice.
be my rule then.
Okay, then it's
see,
your rule.
See how like
Esteban,
making these rules causes separation.
But Esteban, if
where
you
you
don't-
can use rules to actually cause unity, and you
are
choose
always, you are
to
always
cause
welcome
separation.
in my house, Esteban. So I'm not going to make a rule to say you're not welcome at my house. If you want to make that rule, Esteban, that's your rule. Then I'll have to live with it. Whether I think it's a good rule or whether I think it's a bad rule doesn't matter. But that's your choice. Your choice out of love to say, well, no, my rule is going to be you're not visiting there. But that's love. No, you are always welcome.
That's the
here.
consequences, Dad.
No, Esteban. Well,
You were talking about consequences,
No,
right? The
I said to you-
consequences
I
of me
just-
calling your God
I just
small
said to
is
you-
you turning my internet off.
I just said to you, you're always welcome in this house, Esteban. And your recourse on that was, you're not going to be welcome in my house. So,
I said that could be one of my rules, Dad.
Okay,
We're talking
no,
about
okay.
these rules that you're making.
Okay, that's changing a little bit now. Huh?
No,
If that's
I
one of
wasn't
you-
changing
No,
anything.
I'm
I'm
glad
talking
this is-
about
this
how
is
you're creating these rules out of thin air and then wanting to punish me for these
It's
rules
not
that you
thin air.
created.
It's not thin air, Esteban. You know, we had this discussion with Christian as well, where I said, guys, I don't want you to swear here. I don't want you to swear here. There's other people in this house that's also choosing not to swear. For whatever reason they choose not to swear. And if you now say, well, I don't think that's a good rule, so I'm going to keep on swearing.
What did
was
I come
one
and
of
tell you, Dad, when you asked us not to swear? What did I come and tell you?
You said it's okay.
Not only did
No
I
problem.
say it's okay, I said I agree with you, Dad.
Yes.
I also don't want to be cursing nonstop.
Okay. So why do you?
I don't.
Okay. But why is it an issue if I say to you, Esteban, you
Because
know.
some rules make sense and some don't.
Okay.
You believe in a God that is literally separation by definition.
No,
And we've
it's
had
not.
this conversation now.
No, it's not.
Are you and God one?
I am in God, yeah, because I've accepted Him.
Are you and God one, Dad?
I'm in God.
Separation.
No,
That is what
no.
separation means.
To say I am, me and God is the same thing. No, I'm not.
Okay, well, we're just talking in circles here. Thank you, Dad, for showing us. This is the type of conversations me and Dad has with one another. It goes nowhere, and it just causes more separation at the end of the day as well.
And this is why I'm sometimes asking you, Esteban, let's just let it go. And then you say, nope. You insist because you want the friction, and I don't.
Dad, friction is how we get to the core of our being.
Yeah, but sometimes, Estienne, you need to be mature to say, well, okay, it's not the right time to push this now. This is just. Sometimes you just need to say, okay, I'm putting my view forward, and then I'm seeing, okay, now it's causing friction, and then you say, okay, let's park it now. And that you need to work on.
That's what I'm trying to do right now, Dad.
I've
And
asked
now
you
you're
so
continuing.
many times.
Now you're
Okay,
continuing.
so must I go?
Please.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Have a
Mijn
pleasant
microfoon.
one.
Careful.
Okay, cheers.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. And we talked about this yesterday, right? Resignation. I resign. That was a lot. Yeah, Joy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I felt like a part of me had to at least somewhat crystallize it so I can look back on it later in my life to see if I really was crazy or if the things that I'm saying actually still echo as truth. I wanna say thank you to the friends who actually sent some abundance as well personally. Hey everybody, Joe, I see John is here and Kristen and Sam have been active. Brother Duck Dad, thank you for manifesting some abundance. I'm gonna need it seems. Hey, Kristen here as well. If the love is true, thank you for the blessings. Brother Gary Lee, Dad needs the magic to see the truth. He doesn't want to. He believes he already has the truth. You know, that's unfortunately the problem we're facing. Thank you, friends. Thank you for manifesting some abundance. I think the other comment or the first donation is probably